Hey, fellow freaksters, it's Tim from the Moratorium. Just here to remind you that if you enjoy what you hear, please like, share, and subscribe, then rinse and repeat. We're just a couple of small-town nerds trying to make sweet geek love to your ear holes, and we could use your support. Check out our website for movie reviews, links to social media, merch, movies, and more. You can find us at themoratorium.com. Now that that's out of the way, on with the shenanigans. It's kind of like Alien, with a dash of Event Horizon, one heaping helping of a giant horny maggot, stir in the Roger Corman special sauce, and you've got one messed up movie. Jason and I dive into the cult Corman classic, Galaxy of Terror. This exhausting, gloopy space oddity is nothing if not totally freaking nuts. We would also like to give a shout out to our new head of music, Titanium Pinos, for our new opening riff. On with the show.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
And now for our lesson.
Wow. All I have to say is just fucking wow.
I watched most of this earlier, and I guess it has been a little longer than I thought because my eyebrows were raised at a couple of different parts, and that doesn't happen a lot. I was like, interesting.
Not a lot of things raise my eyebrows.
Not many anymore.
Well, hey, we are coming fresh again off of Halloween. Yeah. Still trapped in horror movies. Yeah. What did we watch last week? We didn't watch anything.
Mm-mm.
Yo, man, we came off of the mega monster movie marathon mania. I don't know. I kept putting M's.
A lot of M's. A lot of alliteration.
And then we had a cool little interview with Tony Masiello.
Right.
I want to thank him again for being on the program. It would be really cool to see what pans out from him as well, because he's got a lot going on.
Cool.
All right. Well, this week we watched really horror,
alien ripoff,
sci-fi, alien ripoff.
I think that pretty succinctly covers it. Although I guess it doesn't really. I think on the face of it, yes, it seems to be an alien ripoff, but the story is a little more complicated.
Oh, the story is way more complicated.
I mean, really, if you think about it, Galaxy of Terror is the catalyst for so many other great movies being done.
Are you saying catalyst because it helped James Cameron get his start?
Basically, yes.
So I watched a little, there's a YouTube video out there that has a nice little breakdown of this movie and a lot of behind the scenes footage shit. It's really pretty cool.
I think it was Good Bad Films.
It really went into James Cameron and what he did in this film and how he just kind of...
he kind of came in and took over and... took over the special effects and took over the, camera. And who did, I forget, who did direct this?
Directed by Bruce D. Clark as B.D. Clark. He has done very little.
Yeah.
He wrote and directed Naked Angels.
Oh, man, of course.
Which was a biker film.
Yeah. Corman produced biker film. I'd hate to say that this is the sleaziest movie that we've done, but it seems like it's the sleaziest movie that we've ever done.
You think?
I got a real weird...
You got a weird sleaze vibe out of it?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's dark, everything's covered in KY. There's a guy named Zalman King that's... I looked him up, and he plays... Well, I guess we'll get into it, but anyway.
Right.
His name's Zalman.
Well, he went on to do, like, Red Shoe Diaries. His name was on a ton of shit.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I thought he looked like somebody off of Deep Space Nine. I had to pull it up and show my wife, and she's like, no, it's not the same guy. But I'm like, oh, if you remove his nose, it looks just like him.
Put a bunch of prosthetics on his face. He kind of reminds me of, he's like a foreign-y Marjoe Gordner, kind of a little bit.
Okay.
That's what he looks like.
Well, his picture on IMDb is frightening.
Yeah.
It looks like he's been hanging out with Gary Busey for a few days before they snapped this pic.
Yes. They just like stopped huffing butane and he's like, I've got to get to this premiere. I can't stay in this trash bin all day. Dusted himself off and history was made.
Thanks for accommodating and appreciate you, Mr. Busey.
Yeah. He needs to go see a doctor because he has always got a light sweat. You know, I think he's got a fever.
It's called diaphoresis.
Oh, is that what it is? What does that? When you just kind of like are slightly greased up all the time? I have that. Should I be worried?
In parts.
Yeah, some.
There are certain parts of me that are very diaphoretic.
Yeah, some more than others. I'll give you a list of them from driest to wettest if you want. Here, I'll write it down real quick while we're doing this. I can do two things at once.
Here's a bar chart.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, enough of that.
You haven't said what the podcast is yet.
No. Welcome to the Moratorium. I'm your host. Again. Tim Corman.
Sound like a cartoon.
With me as always is...
Me, Jason Walker.
Yeah, Jason Walker.
Sound like a cartoon donkey.
Oh, well.
Okay, that's enough.
All right. Thanks for being a part of the show.
You're not welcome.
All right. Let's see how long it takes for people to turn that off.
Yep.
And you being the first.
I will do my own little editing and just edit that right out.
All right. Well, we watched Galaxy of Terror.
Yeah. Formerly known as Planet of... the hell was it? It's been called a couple of different things.
Mm-hmm. I thought they said it was also called Mutant at one point.
Well, maybe it was, but that's also a movie with Wings Hauser and his huge face.
Running time for this movie was 81 minutes. Production company, New World Pictures, under Roger Corman.
Yay.
Budget for this film ran $1.8 million.
Yeah. Which I think is probably bumped up a little bit from, I think they said that, you know, once Cameron got in and started taking charge, that Corman kind of released some more funds.
Yeah. But it says here, this is off of Wikipedia, that the box office results pulled in about $4 million.
Wow, so it made money.
It made money. We'll say. Oh, Quest.
Yeah, that was another title.
Yes.
There was another one that was like Planet of Ghosts or so. I don't remember what it was, but it had another original title.
But they did not settle on Galaxy of Terror, I guess, until the last minute.
Yeah.
Who knows? I think Quest was actually the name of the ship.
Yes.
And that's what I read. Yeah.
Galaxy of Terror is a pretty good
name. And this box art is like very...
my favorite.
But what part of this in the box art was in the movie?
Oh, none of it. If you're wondering,
none of the above.
There's none of those creatures.
That's too bad because that pterodactyl looking thing with a human skull going after the scantily dressed buxom blonde.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that in the background with the forked tongue?
I think that's just that guy's friend, the pterodactyl. Edward
Albert.
Ooh,
back there. Just
hey, that's what he looks like without that big rubbery face on.
So from talking about it last week and then let's just fix any kind of errors that, yes, Edward Albert is in this film and he is the son of Eddie Albert.
From Green Acres fame.
Yes.
Anne is the spawn of from Eddie Albert and Mexican actress dancer Margot.
Who is she?
I do not know who that is.
She doesn't have a fruit bowl on her head, does she?
Nope, that would be Carmen Miranda.
Well, I mean, she could have one too.
Well, yeah. Well, nobody's saying that. I mean, Carmen Miranda's the only one that can have produce on her head. But once she does it, then it's like kind of stole your thunder there. Just eat those bananas.
Yeah.
Last week you said, well, there's an Edward Albert. Surely that's not Eddie Albert's son or anything. And then we just stopped researching it all. And turns out, yes, it is Eddie Albert's son.
Exactly.
So that mystery is solved. We know you guys were, on the edge of your seat.
So many emails saying, you guys have no clue.
No fucking clue, you guys.
Of course, those were all from my wife.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, and guys, if you're on the edge of your seat, scoot back a little bit. There's no reason to be right up on the, lip of the chair.
All right, Galaxy of Terror stars Edward Albert. I'm just going to keep calling him Eddie.
He prefers that you call him Edward.
Which does he not just have a fake mustache, or is that his real mustache?
I don't know. It kind of comes and goes. Sometimes he doesn't have one and has one in the same movie. Which I think is weird. They need a continuity person to say, hey, you had the French tickler on in the last scene. I don't know.
Aaron Moran.
Yep.
Which both Edward Albert and Aaron Moran, they both died in their 50s. In the meantime, Ray Walston is
103. He's passed away, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. He died in 2001.
Man, he was really slumming it in this one.
I thought for sure that he was going to be an android.
Yeah, right? It should have. That actually would have worked out pretty good. I mean, in Cameron movies, his character for sure would have been the android, probably.
Right. The names in this movie, they suck.
They all sound like foreign cars.
Yes. So Ray Walston plays Core, but they call him Cook. At no point during the film do I see him cooking anything. I saw him serve Edward Albert a cup of coffee.
So it might be a job title rather than a name.
Right. Zalman King plays Balon.
Yeah, Balon.
Robert Englund plays Ranger.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Sid Haig plays Quhod.
Quhod. It's very close to the character in Moby Dick,
Sure.
And he is kind of that character in this movie.
The whale?
What's his name? Queequeg? I think he's he's just a big, silent guy. In
Galaxy of Terror, I read on the trivia stuff that when Sid Haig, when he got onto the set, he went to Roger Corman and asked to change his character to, quote unquote, a near mute.
What does that mean?
It means he has one line in the freaking film.
Oh, near mute. So not mute.
I guess he didn't like his dialogue and felt that he could do this character better by not speaking.
Maybe. That one line that he says is very weird. I think it must be his backstory that I don't know if that was written or if he came up with it. But he says something about crystals, doesn't he?
I live and die by the crystals.
By the crystals. Like Crystal Gale?
Crystal Meth?
Crystal Bernard from Wings?
Crystal Light?
Crystal Light, maybe. Maybe he and...
Fruity Drinks?
Maybe he and Harry Belafonte's daughter, Sherry Belafonte.
Ah, yes.
His name is Harry and her name is Sherry. Anyway. Okay, let's just get it out of the way. There is nudity in this. And
nudity.
It's only by one actress, correct?
Right. It's Taffy O'Connell.
Her name is Taffy.
I thought it was spelled Taaffe.
I thought it was Toffee. Which is what they put in score bars and stuff. Maybe it's an Irish thing. Toffee O'Connell.
Oh, Toffee O'Connell.
I'll say it like a leprechaun and it sounds better.
Grace Zabriskie is the reason we got here. She plays Captain Trantor.
Yeah, she's the captain.
If she's a captain, she's making the worst decisions and putting everybody's life in danger within 30 seconds of the movie opening.
Hey, sometimes, you got to break a couple of eggs.
I may have mentioned before, she is also in The Private Eyes.
Yes.
Which I didn't realize that was a Corman production.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess The Private Eyes actually made a nice little bank.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was successful.
I thought I read it was like, it made like 19 million.
Wow.
So.
I need to watch that again.
Mm-hmm. We could have been watching it this week, but no, I chose Galaxy of Terror instead.
Yeah.
Anyway, to let our audience know, you can watch Forbidden World. You can, oh my God, wrong.
Did it.
You can watch Galaxy of Terror.
We're going to probably do that a lot.
Because these movies were so much alike. Let's go ahead and call it, okay? We were talking about this earlier. Mm-hmm. Let's call it.
While we're here, let's go ahead and, next week sweep up all the other trash. So next week we're going to do Forbidden World.
Forbidden World.
Now that I see so many similarities between this movie and Alien and Aliens, now I wonder, because Forbidden World is also Roger Corman. Correct?
Yes, correct.
I remember liking Forbidden World a lot more than Galaxy of Terror. I mean, yes, it does have more boobs.
Yes, it's needed.
I think Galaxy of Terror is for sure a better movie than Forbidden World. I see now, I think you were thinking of Forbidden World. Mutant is the...
yes, Mutant was the original title,
right.
Yeah. But they redid Forbidden World in 1991.
Really?
Under the title of Dead Space.
Oh, okay. Well, then all these like crappy 80s B movies were like so influential for other bigger budget, better movies that came along. I mean, if you watch that little documentary or that YouTube video, there's a lot of similarities between Galaxy of Terror and Aliens, Mm-hmm. But of course there are, because Cameron did both, worked on both of them. But I mean, even when they were breaking down actual scenes, and I was like, oh, wow, they took a lot from Galaxy of Terror. Forbidden World is a little sleazier. I think there's just nudity up front. It's got Fox Harris in it, which is always good.
About Forbidden World, actually, the tagline is part alien, part human, all nightmare.
That's pretty good.
What's the tagline for this movie? Your countdown to hell is about to begin.
Wow. So saying that a lot of movies borrowed from this movie, it's got a real Event Horizon vibe to it. Which is...
very much so. And even that tagline is...
basically the story for Event Horizon. They did. They were basically hell on a spaceship. Horror in space is always... stakes are so much higher, and...
there is so little to set this movie up. But it kind of feels like the same type of situation that was an Alien, is that maybe they received a distress signal.
Yeah.
And they were sent on a rescue mission. It looked like they were already on the ship.
Right.
And then just decided, okay, let's go. But I think it would have been easier if they would have been in space to begin with and just traveling around, and just kind of like Alien. Maybe they wanted to break it up and show that this is what it's like to take off from Earth. I don't know.
Maybe. Or maybe they didn't have enough money to build another set to show you all of that stuff.
So let our audience know that you can watch this on YouTube with, it has Spanish subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
It plays just fine, but I also just found it on Dailymotion.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a better copy's on Dailymotion. Yeah, you still don't have closed captioning on it, but you can watch it.
You can buy it on Prime for $2.99, or you can rent it for $2.99.
And reading some of this on the Galaxy of Terror. I don't think there's a whole lot of extras on the disc. It said that there was an X-rated version of this film, which I guess would be the rape sequence that we will certainly get into.
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. I watched a little documentary about this, and also I watched that YouTube video that I think you watched, and they said that the X rating was because of audio effects or something, which I don't know if it was just like splooshy alien noise, which, I mean, that can be, that is gross. There's a scene later that maybe the sound effects might have pushed it over the edge.
Maybe. Galaxy of Terror on Daily Motion, I think the transfer is so much better. It looks way better. There's a third version on YouTube that you can watch that is somebody took their, looked like their iPhone and pointed at their TV and recorded the entire thing for you. So you choose which freaking transfer you actually want to watch.
There's beginning of the movie has just two kind of incoherent scenes slapped together.
Yes. I didn't know what was going on from the beginning. They're just running around a freaking crapped out ship.
Yes. And the very beginning, the guy almost called him an astronaut. There are no astronauts in this movie.
No.
There's a crew member.
That would entail that they would actually put on a helmet or something, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't become an astronaut until you put that fishbowl thing on your head. But the guy at the beginning is running around with it looks like a heat gun, and I'm sure it's like a futuristic gun. You don't know what, you don't see what he's running from, but he closes a hatch that is just, in a James Cameron movie, it would have been look good and really well done, but that basically just looked like an old cabinet door handle. Mm-hmm. But he kind of slides that thing together and has a little welder and welds the door shut to keep out, I assume, an alien.
Is it a welder, or did he just turn his phaser to weld?
Oh, maybe, because it does look, maybe it does kind of look like a blaster from Star Wars.
Yeah. And it just kind of glows red for a second.
Yeah. But just very reminiscent of how they seal off the doors in one of my favorite scenes from Aliens.
He seals himself into what is it? It kind of looks like the morgue of the spaceship. Really.
I guess. Yeah. Or like the hammer drawer, because it's just like a bunch of shit just strewn around.
Well, there's a quick shot of him looking over to a body that's laying on a slab. And
that's right.
Half of its head is missing. You can see the brains exposed.
It does. It looks like a school AV room or something.
No, I'm confused already. Am I watching the right movie?
I don't know. I think you're right. I think it is the morgue.
Okay. There's a little scene where there's a porthole in the side of the ship, and he sees a freaking alien head, which really kind of made me think of Terror Vision.
Yeah. What happens then? I have no clue.
He starts breakdancing. He throws himself against the wall.
He's moshing by himself.
Yeah.
And strawberry jelly comes out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Cut to old lady whose lips are being sucked into her head, and a guy with a glowing red head.
Yeah.
Playing a cocktail, a Miss Pac-Man type cocktail game.
We're already on our spaceship. Now, I don't know what that beginning scene was.
Who knows?
Your big-headed freaking commander calls the whole crew together, and within a few minutes of Grace being on the screen, she's like, "Oh, we're launching." The bay doors start opening. 30 seconds until launch.
Damn.
People are just getting on the ship and saying, "Oh, shit."
Yeah.
You mean we need to hurry?
What, did we have daylight savings time or something?
But of course, Edward Albert still has a chance to lay one on Aaron Moran before he gets strapped into a seat.
Can we just call her Joni?
Yeah, just call her Joni. That's fine. There's a weird scene where Sid Haig and Ray Walston kind of do like a Three Stooges walk through the door at the same time, and they stop and kind of look at each other.
One of them's carrying a board. He's like, "Hey, what's that over there?" Donk, and it just gets like smacked upside the head.
And I love this, that very, very young Robert Englund running around the ship
like a maniac.
I guess what that little video is saying, that Robert Englund wanted to be in Roger Corman films. I mean, he just ate it up.
He is like one of the only things in this movie that I'm like kind of genuinely happy when he's on the screen. Ray Walston, I just saw what you were talking about. And I mean, Sid Haig is like 2 feet taller than him.
Easy.
He is like got his chest up and out and is like...
He's nearly the best he's ever looked in any one of his films.
You're right. You're right. Somehow he looks younger in this than other things where he was much older.
Yes.
Oh my God. The big boob girl using herself as a seat belt.
Seat belt? That's what I was just trying to get to. It was amusing. She just wraps her arms and legs around him to hold Freddy Krueger in the chair.
That wouldn't work. I don't think.
I don't know how space travel works.
Also, the look on his face is like he's the one behind. I don't know. It's all very confusing. He looks like he's orgasming while they're flying away.
Well, yeah. They take off from Earth.
Yeah.
Within a few minutes of the opening credits. And they're in space. And there's maybe 2 minutes while they're floating around in space that she decides that she turns it into a hyper jump to get closer to their destination.
She's reckless.
Very reckless.
Well, when they were taking off, they were showing little shots from around the ship, and like canisters of stuff were like falling over.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a
Nothing has been secured.
I feel like morale is low on the ship already, and it might be because of Grace Zabriskie and her weird eyes.
And when she decides to go into hyperdrive, there's only a 15-second countdown.
Man.
And does she announce that, hey, we're getting ready to?
Yeah,
no.
These are like arbitrary numbers that she's just choosing out of thin air. All right. Launch in 23 seconds.
It's just strange.
Can I just call her Sarah Palmer for the rest of the movie?
Sure.
It makes it easier for me.
Mrs. Palmer.
Also, them going through hyperspace is very psychedelic.
Very trippy. After the hyper jump, ladies and gentlemen, after 9 minutes, now you can take your mushrooms, not before this.
Cool.
Right.
Bow, 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 now. Ray Walston looks like he's been in the mushrooms a little bit. Just the fact that he doesn't do any... He basically has no facial expressions in this movie.
Yeah, that's why I thought he was an android.
Who was the first android and alien? Gosh, I can't think of his name.
Mm-hmm.
British actor.
Yeah, he's dead now.
He's dead now.
Bilbo.
Yeah, Bilbo. What's his name?
Yeah.
Oh, forget it. But anyway, I mean, all they did to make him an android was just have him spit milk all over the place. Couldn't they have done that for old Ray?
So we're out of hyperspace. We see our destination planet.
Ian Holm is his name. Sorry.
Thank you, Ian Holm. Are they too close to the planet's atmosphere and they start getting sucked in?
I don't know, man.
Because everybody relaxes for just a moment. And what happens? Oh, another emergency. They're being sucked in. She gives up.
Very quickly.
Mrs. Palmer gives up very quickly. She's like, oh, well, I guess we're dead. I can't break this pull.
Do they not have to do like a psychiatric evaluation of these people? I mean, she's obviously has some problems.
There is one line from one of the other crew members that says something about her last mission, or a mission that she's notoriously known for, that she came back by herself with the ship.
Okay, so
all of the crew members were lost.
That seems a little fishy, you know?
I guess that's how she became captain.
Of this bucket of bolts. All of the restraints or not restraints, but all the seat belts are literally seat belts from like a Plymouth Valiant or something.
In that little video, it did say that the uniforms that they're wearing were leftovers from Battlestar Galactica.
I noticed that. I mean, I don't think they even did much to dress them up. Slap a couple of patches on them. Oh my God. Zalman King says son of a cyborg as a curse in this. And it makes me want to break my monitor.
She gave up.
Yeah.
She just knew they were going to crash land. We're going to all die.
Yeah.
And then realizes, well, maybe I can skid us to a landing.
Like, well, maybe I can. I don't know. Let me just click a couple of these buttons. And
we show the other crew members' faces as they're preparing for this.
Yeah.
Ray Walston, still
dead,
expressionless.
Dead face. like he is trying as hard as he can not to let a golf ball fall out of his ass or something. They land and Grace Zabriskie skips away. She's like, oh, well, everything's going according to plan.
This is a surprisingly big cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of people to have stuff happen to.
And I couldn't necessarily keep up with who was who or what their job was.
Yeah, who was where in the...
I mean, Joni is she just a clairvoyant?
I think she's a hairstylist. I think she's just there to cut their hair.
And make out with Edward Albert.
I guess. Like, that would be funny if they're kissing and then pull away and she's wearing the mustache.
Uh-huh.
Should always do that.
It's a rogue mustache.
That old classic. I want to talk about their packs.
Those are kind of cool.
They're kind of cool. They also look like they went to a scrapyard and just got like reverse lights or something and just...
Those are from a Buick.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely Buick headlights.
Yeah. Every time Zalman King comes by, he's just got one like blinking on, like he left the turn signal on, kind of. Hanging a left, guys.
In that little short video, I think they said that most of the set design was trash.
Yeah, they said they went dumpster diving to to kind of decorate the walls, make it look a little more futuristic.
Textured walls out of painted McDonald's takeout boxes.
James Cameron at his finest.
He was responsible for the reason why they went over budget.
Yeah, for sure. But arguably made it a better movie.
Yeah.
I like it that Sid Haig has that see-through boomerang thing.
Yes, those are the crystals.
Oh.
Those are his crystal knives. Yes, they're like throwing stars.
Oh my God.
It doesn't set it up at all.
Yeah.
But I love this. They get onto the wreckage of the ship that I guess they got the signal from. It's so unclear what's going on.
Yeah.
They're just showing up and checking things out.
Also, it doesn't help that this ship looks exactly like the other ship.
Yes.
All the hallways are the same. They just kind of got some electrical conduit and just dangled it from the ceiling of the wrecked ship.
I totally love this, that one of the bodies of the crew members kind of falls down like your normal horror movie, dangling by the feet.
Yeah, there should have been a cat.
And Sid Haig throws his crystal star into him immediately.
Yeah.
Just
exactly.
Just tags him.
Check for a pulse or let's just set him on fire.
They destroy all the bodies that they find.
Yeah. They're basically covering up whatever.
Yeah.
They're destroying every bit of evidence, which is presumably why they're on the ship.
Is this a rescue mission or is it a government cover-up?
Is it training? Is it like a video game for them?
I mean, granted, if you would have set up that maybe there was a parasite that these bodies
just had to be killed with flame, had to be disposed of.
But they waste no time in doing this to everybody. They see a dead body, they're shooting it, destroying it, disintegrating it.
Yeah. Eddie Albert looks like he lights off about 10 sparklers in another dead body's head.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that one's done at least.
But Sid Haig is holding these crystal stars
I mean, they're plastic stars.
They are.
They almost kind of look like what's under the like glass part of the turntable in your microwave a little bit, kind of.
There you go. Right.
But sharp. It shows a little, I don't know if that's claymation or I don't know what kind of special effect that was, but you see a little, definitely stop motion. I saw it again.
Definitely. Yes.
Poorly done. Harryhausen would be weeping at this point.
Oh, yes. Moving at 4 frames per second.
Yes. Herky jerky. I just saw it again and it looks kind of cool now. Kind of looks like a salamander.
So the premise that was explained is that these crew members on this ship or on this planet, they're being stalked by their biggest fears.
Yeah.
So, but we've not set up any of their fears beforehand. What are you afraid of?
Exactly.
We're just seeing these things attack them.
Right. I mean, unless everybody's fear is that they're going to get eaten by an alien and they're,
As for character development,
not a lot.
No.
Nobody knows what their motivation is. Except for Grace Zabriskie. I think she's the only one that has created a actor's, a backstory for herself. Mm-hmm. And apparently it's that she's really bad at her job, but somehow she just keeps on getting promoted until
She's got one more rank to go.
Right.
She is a captain. She needs to be a commander.
Yeah, once that alien kills that other old guy, then she's right. Maybe that's her plan is like, instead of like sleeping with her, it is the 70s, but she'll just go on these dangerous missions. And if she can survive them, then she gets a promotion.
There you go.
I mean, actually, that's pretty smart. I'm actually enjoying this movie a lot more than it's more fun listening and watching it with you than it is just by yourself. By yourself, it's pretty rugged.
It's pretty rough.
All right, let's get on with the movie because this guy, there is one kind of like a red jumpsuit guy that is going to die first.
Oh, you mean the one that was vomited twice already?
Yes. It's like, is clam chowder the only thing that they're serving on this ship? Because he is sloshing with it.
Is he being chased by the giant cockroach looking thing?
Yes, I think. Yes, question mark.
And they kind of left him behind on the wreckage. And they're like, come on. And he's still bumbling around. Is he the first one to die from this thing, basically?
I think so. Is he Jack Blessing? Because all the other people I've looked at, and except for him, his IMDb profile shot is him, just his ass, as he is trying to negotiate all this crap that they put in one of the corridors in this movie. He could have picked a better one than that. Even him barfing would have been better than that.
It does kind of look like he's in the trash compactor
of
and Star Wars, right?
Yep.
But his death is kind of fun. He's got those little tentacles that wrap around his midsection.
That's cool death.
And one hand that kind of grabs the top of his head.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for him to rip some of the flesh back.
Yes. Just peel his head completely off.
Too expensive to show here.
Yeah. That's still pretty good death. I see now, we're so unsure of what anybody does on that. Freddy Krueger is just poking around on the dead guy's face. Is he a doctor? Is Big Boob Lady a doctor? Because she's poking around too.
Everybody else we destroyed, but I guess now there was a little scene when Sid Haig comes back to meet the rest of the crew before they leave Jack Blessing behind. He's got a big burlap sack, and I suppose that's what the body was in. That he had it just thrown over his shoulder.
Is that the body of Jack Blessing, aka Cause, or is that one of the dead people from the ship?
That had to be from the ship.
Okay, good. Glad we figured that out.
Okay,
burlap sack with a guy in it whose face is gone.
But I do kind of like they kind of zoom in on the face.
Yes,
They're watching through closed captioning television, and they just kind of zoom in a little bit.
And because I can only say Freddy Krueger. I've lost my mind.
I guess you have. Robert Englund.
Yeah, Robert Englund. They ask him something, and he kind of flips around like, I don't know. What do you think? Ripped his face off, being kind of, pissed off about it. He has like a pair of hemostats, and he's just like poking the thing in the face. Okay, so we saw that scene, and then they just walked outside. I really like that big pyramid, that shot from behind them that reveals that big pyramid. It's very cool looking.
They made it look pretty big, and I saw a picture of James Cameron, I guess, working on the effects to create that pyramid.
Right.
It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, and making it all look very H.R. Giger-esque.
Yeah.
It's just a big painting.
They don't set this pyramid thing up at all.
Right.
What is it?
I have no idea what's happening in the movie, and I've got the subtitles on.
Well, and the Spanish ones?
No.
Like, I'm so confused.
I have the remastered version of this movie. It looks pretty damn good.
Yeah?
But it has subtitles, and I'm skimming them every once in a while.
Because there is one line in this that I thought tried to explain it, calling it a child's game.
Okay.
That kind of is made me think of that beginning scene when they were playing Miss Pac-Man with the glowing redheaded guy, that they were playing a game. But they said this was a kid's game. So I really needed to find out more about this.
Wow. I'm here to tell you, you probably will not figure it out.
No.
I think we're putting more thought into it than they did.
So, but they start scaling this pyramid.
Yeah.
And our aged commander.
Yeah.
Climbing up, and he decides to go ahead of everybody. The camera stays on Taffy, and I think this is pretty hilarious.
Yes, I noticed that.
He climbs up further, and it's just focused on her.
Yes.
As the commander goes forward up this, and then just immediately slides back down.
Yeah.
Just tumbles his way past
The subtitles said, whee, when he did it. But yeah, it's either the cameraman's like, all right, I can either focus on this old man's ass or these giant boobs. Not much of a choice.
I guess they put in her contract that she was supposed to be nude.
Right.
And I'll save it to the scene, but I've got some trivia to read off to you.
About the maggot rape?
About the maggot rape.
Did you want me to say maggot rape first? Yeah, if you're wondering if there's maggot rape in the movie, there definitely is a maggot raping a girl in this movie.
Yes, and you can check that off your bingo card.
Yes. I love Roger Corman. I absolutely love him as a man, as a producer, but this period of time they were showing him in that documentary, he looks like, it's the 70s, right? Even Roger Corman has a little mustache, but like a kind of thin one. And it looks like if Gilligan was on like a FBI watch list or something. It is a very creepy. And then when you throw in the maggot rape, it's like, ew.
So there's no real setup for this, but I guess while they're climbing up, they're not even at the top of the pyramid, but there's a hole in which the captain decides that he's going to rappel down.
I would say it's the butthole of the pyramid. Can we say that? I think it is. Also, I don't remember if they probably gave like an extremely cheesy like year that this happens, like the year 3000 or something. They're using rappelling gear, just regular rappelling stuff.
Oh, yeah.
From the 70s, I guess. Didn't try to dress it up at all.
Nope. Storyline says when a spaceship Remus crash lands on a planet Morganthus, the planet master of Xerxes sends a spacecraft quest to rescue them, but it crash lands. Balon leads them away, compromising himself. It doesn't make any sense. His rival, Cabron, Psi-sensitive Aluma, Medic Demia, Martial Arts Fire Quhod. Okay, so he's a martial arts fighter. Did you ever get that?
Nope.
He did throw a punch once.
If he had been the cook, I would have been like, yeah, yes, he's the cook. He looks like the cook.
And Jittery Rookie Cause.
Now, that's the only accurate description in the entire thing. Yes. I know exactly which character they're talking about.
Finding only a brutally murdered bodies aboard the Remus, quest personnel, it says personal, it says quest personnel, start getting brutally slaughtered one by one themselves. With their ship still damaged, the team investigates a nearby lifeless alien pyramid, not realizing it's using their own personal fears to hunt them down and kill them.
So basically, everyone in this movie is extremely dumb.
Yes.
Like, just the dumbest person in the world.
All right, so back to, you got your commander rappelling down the butthole of the pyramid.
Yep.
And those little tentacle arms...
Doesn't go real well.
Oh, no. The tentacle arms just kind of jump out at him, and he's quick to cut those tentacles off, man.
Yeah.
He's in it. He was ready for anything.
Yeah. Finally, he was...
But if these are his fears actually attacking him, he was ready to confront his own fears.
I guess. In like a mystical...
I solved it. That's good.
You're getting all Native American with it. I don't think they really... I mean, again, it's like confronting their own fears. I mean, one of my biggest fears would be being eaten by an alien.
Yes.
And if that's the case, then yes, that it is playing with their fears of being eaten by an alien. I think Ray Walston's acting choice, which is convenient because it's also his in real life choice, is to just be as drunk as possible while this is. He has said like 3 words so far. He looks depressed.
Maybe he got his script mixed up with
Sid Haig.
Sid Haig's. Well, maybe he was the same way. It was like, hey,
I'm the quiet guy. Yeah. No, I don't want to say anything. I can say less than you can.
So while everybody's out risking their lives, so we've got the captain and the cook just hanging out eating.
Grace Zabriskie looks like she's eating cat food. It's like Fancy Feast.
Mm-hmm.
I think that maybe since what is it? Battle of the Network Stars.
Yeah.
Battle Beyond the Stars. Battle of the Network Stars.
Yes.
That's something completely different. Although I think a lot of these people were
probably on it
too. Like Battlestar Galactica, it was before this, and it probably shares a lot of the same. I guess just once everybody was, clued into the Star Wars universe and how it worked, then all this other stuff should be like, okay, yeah, I get it, but I don't get it.
No. I will have to say, though, the sets in this
they look pretty cool.
Are pretty freaking cool. Pretty elaborate.
They're getting a little crappier when they get into the pyramid.
Yeah. I don't know what part of the pyramid they're on, but a door starts to open on the pyramid.
I think they're at like the penthouse.
Is that
level
it? Okay.
When that happens.
But the doors start to open, and Sid Haig throws his crystal...
Ninja stars.
Sure, ninja stars. To stop the door from opening.
Right.
That didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, why do you care if you stop it there, the door is still open?
Yeah, exactly. You just wasted those things.
Yes.
Unless you can make more of those things, now you're weaponless.
Right.
And also they shattered really
very easily. He was about to cry.
Yeah.
I think later his only line is when somebody gives him a gun and he doesn't want to take it.
Right.
That's when he says, I live and die by the crystals.
Yeah.
He's hunkered down and looks like he's crying.
They had the souls of his mother and father in them.
Oh, is that what
Did
it
you
is?
not catch that
no,
from
no.
earlier?
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Okay. He looks insane in everything he does, though.
He does. Very intense guy.
But his death is pretty cool. Can't wait till all the characters are dead. But no, they're going down this alien corridor, and it like you said, it's pretty geegerish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has weird like alien light setups, and it, you know,
yeah,
they don't necessarily find anything together. This whatever this is trying to separate them to kill them one by one.
Right.
And later, here in just a bit, do they not go into it's like an alien glass house, you know, those little glass mazes you go to at the carnival that you can't, you know,
like a room of mirrors or
yes,
something?
yeah, house of mirrors, but, you know, that always had fingerprints, face prints, and God knows
yeah, right.
how
Exactly.
often they clean those.
Yeah, again.
How did we survive our childhood?
I don't know. Yeah, Sid Haig's death scene, his stars reform and attack him.
Yes. That I thought was awesome.
I did too.
He's basically just pouting and they just reform.
Right. He has a problem with doors too. That other door he wasn't too cool with. He tried to like get smushed in it. That little shard of that blade going up his arm it kind of made me kind of tense up.
Yeah.
You know?
That looks cool.
It does look cool.
For some reason, when he was going through that door and the door was closing on him and he was trying to hold it open,
yeah,
for a split second, he kind of looked like The Rock.
A little bit, yeah. More gangly, but still.
Ninja stars reform. He goes over to pick him up, but somehow, how does it get stuck in his arm?
It kind of like throws itself at him and sticks in his arm. Just
and
gross.
It breaks off the point, and it's supposed to look like it's traveling up his arm, but it kind of looks like he helped push it into his arm as well.
Yeah.
That's where there's a little bit of blood, man. That's probably the most blood we'll see in this film. And he chops off his own arm.
With the other star? Is that what happened? Or I didn't see a weapon in his hand. I didn't know what that was.
It did kind of look like he just karate chopped his own arm off.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
And his severed arm comes back to life and throws a star into his chest.
Yes,
I dig it.
Very Evil Dead-ish.
So, in his fears...
dying by his own...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I could see that.
Is Ray Walston now? Is he in a barber's chair? What is that?
I don't know. I don't even consider him as in the movie right now. It's like they walk past a room with him in it, and he's just like smoking a cigarette and reading like a, you know.
Robert Englund came by and he sees him sitting down in this chair, and he's got kind of a little blanket around his waist or something, and he's reading a book, and I think. Robert Englund comes in. He's like, "Is that the script?" He's like, "What? Do you want to read it?" And he's like, "No, I don't want to read that.
I've literally never read it." Also, this movie, the events in this movie kind of look like a boon to Robert Englund. He's just kind of bopping along and be like, "Hey, what's going on in here?" Mm-hmm. Glad I don't have to go to the death planet with everybody else.
So, I dig this. Now, Taffy finds Sid Haig dead. She sets him on fire.
She sets his arm on fire.
You see her face as she's lighting him up. It doesn't really show it.
I see. Maybe I missed that. But yeah.
You don't really know that. I guess she has a fear of bugs.
Right. Like, why mealworms all of a sudden? Because they're not maggots. No. And his arm's only been there for like... You know what's weird is like... There's already a couple of things in here that I noticed from like Prometheus, you know, movie that came out just like a couple of years ago, which is like those worms. And there's another like very kind of like this maggot thing evolving and getting bigger. Mm-hmm. And oh no, the captain, those little sucker tentacle things that were on him, those look like the things in Prometheus too.
Okay, yeah.
That kind of get inside that one guy's suit, and I think that's ballsy that like they were like, let's steal this. I mean, this is a really good idea from this shitty movie that nobody's ever going to see.
So this worm, just grows to enormous size.
Yes,
and somehow sneaks up behind her.
Yeah,
she's wandering around like she's looking for stuff. She sees the slug trail from this.
Right, yeah, it is like glooping.
But she doesn't see it, which is absolutely huge.
It's like a giant... Right. It looks like... it's like the size of like a Jupiter jump or something.
Oh, easy. It's huge.
It looks like when Mothra is in her like, pupil stage or whatever. I like saying pupil stage.
I am going to pause it right here, right in the middle of this alien worm rape, to read you off some trivia.
Okay, good.
All right. This was straight off of IMDb trivia. This movie was originally rated X by the MPAA. The following cuts were made for an R rating: scenes of evisceration and a protracted shot of a scalped corpse with part of its skull missing.
Okay.
Several frames from the infamous worm rape scene showing the giant worm's thrusting movement and the victim's face in ecstasy and the climax of both of them. Sounds of bones breaking from a scene which another female character gets crushed by living wires. The original X-rated version of the film is confirmed to be lost or destroyed.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Right. Taffy was nearly crushed by a 1-ton giant worm during the filming of the notorious rape scene.
Yeah, that was also in the kind of making of thing.
Yes. I will put a link to that at the website because I thought that was really cool. I think everybody should watch that.
Yeah, she could have died.
The change to her being raped was a last-minute decision by Roger Corman, who had promised the investors that there would be a nude sex scene with her.
Yeah, which calling that a sex scene is... I don't know.
That just shows you about the level of sleaziness that his investors had.
Well, and again, at this time, imagine Roger Corman in tiny little white shorts, right, that are just barely covering his scrotum, a skipper's hat, and a tiny thin mustache. And he's telling them, I think the giant maggot should rape Taffy.
Though she didn't want to do it, but later agreed after getting them to pay her more money.
Yeah.
But when I was watching this scene, because, I mean, it's when she gets stripped down and this thing is raping her, she does start moaning.
She's kind of into it.
Yeah, she kind of gets into it. It's gloopy. It's slimy.
It's disgusting in more ways than just...
It's pretty disgusting.
And probably the reason why everybody wants to watch it.
Yeah, probably. Did they say that 6 people had to control this thing because it was so big?
I didn't see that, but it is like, it's huge.
Huge.
I'm surprised that James Cameron, that doesn't come up in, like interviews with him and stuff. Like, hey,
So what about that maggot rape scene? Was that your idea? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, oh, no, it's a Corman movie. We know exactly whose idea it was. Well, so got her dead, naked, KY-covered body, and Zalman King he's the first one to light everything on fire. I don't know why that's his job specifically. I guess he's got the flamethrower, but...
But as soon as they see her body laying there, they just assume she's dead. Nobody checks her for a pulse.
No, nothing.
No, they just set her on fire.
Yeah.
Have you ever smelled KY when it's on fire?
Ugh. no. But yeah, like that's never like established that, you know, in other movies it would be like she's contaminated now or something, so there's no way.
I am disappointed that you didn't bring up what is this, some kind of sexual lubricant?
Oh. God, the 70s were just so gross.
Alejandro Rey would have improved this cast 10 times.
For sure. He would at least be wearing like a Hawaiian shirt over his, or like a smoking jacket or something.
So Grace, her thing is, I guess, reliving her past of when she lost her entire crew. And so she's trying to kill something that's not there. I don't know. It was confusing.
Yep. Now she's jobless. Oh no, wait a minute. They made her captain of a huge ship with with a bunch of people.
Her death is so quick and it doesn't make any sense.
I don't think I saw it on the first go through. Oh, she just bursts into flames,
Bursts into flames. I think I read somewhere that her scene was supposed to have a more elaborate death, but because they spent all their money on, worm raping.
The maggot rape?
Ray Walston does a karate chop to the back of Freddy Krueger's head.
He does.
And, God damn it, now I can't think of his name. He's just going to be Freddy now.
Robert Englund.
When Robert Englund comes in and finds him in the control room, he was like, "Oh, somebody hit me. You know, anybody come through here? Somebody hit me." He's like, and Ray Walston's like, "No, I haven't seen anything."
And he kind of snickers to himself. I did it. I chopped him. But again, it never sets him up as like, how does he know how to do like a Vulcan neck pinch thing or whatever he did? And he could be the cook. He could be the AV guy. Mm-hmm. He could be a stowaway. No one knows. My least favorite Martian.
It is hilarious. Do they show Robert Englund's death? Because he's going through this ship, the real ship, not the wreckage, and he finds her burnt body.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird.
The only way you can tell it was her because it was her hair. Right?
They're all like kind of smiling and, like,
yeah.
Wow, I guess we made it out of that.
Hey, I guess we don't have to ration our food anymore.
Yeah. Who wants seconds?
Yeah. No, they're all hanging out. They might as well be playing Uno or something.
Space Uno. Please, Tim, Space Uno. And then that little guy just kind of fell off. That was Zalman King, I guess. He got his guts ripped out, and then then they threw him off the side of that thing.
Dude, his guts being ripped out, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was fun.
The documentary thing said that they just went to like a Mexican supermarket or something next door and got a bunch of pig guts.
Because it's cheaper than making it.
Yeah, and it looks cool.
They go back into the pyramid. There is a Goonies water slide scene.
Uh-huh. You always got to have a slide.
So Joni's sliding down this water slide thing, and she gets stuck in the middle, man. And she just sits there for a moment. She kind of like, sitting in a fetal position, kind of holding her legs to her. All I could think of is, this is a water slide. Somebody is going to slam into you.
Exactly. She's like, the slide quit working. Well, that's not how a slide works. You've got to, put some effort into it, kind of kick your legs out or something to get going.
I think Robert Englund slides into her and pushes her all the way down. He doesn't even say, "I'm sorry" or "look out" or anything. It's just like, "Oh, hey, we're down." No. All right.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Bitch is in my way. Come on.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, he's going to climb back up to the top and slide back down. I think they're so far in the future, they don't know what slides are.
After that slide, and they come out into the inner structure of this pyramid. Mm-hmm. That looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks huge.
Yeah, it does. I saw a part of that is like a matte painting that I think James Cameron I could be wrong, but I think he made it. And it has like a depth to it, and it makes it look huge.
It's a great effect. It really is. I like the shadow play, and they call this the Shadow Demon, I think.
Yeah, Shadow Demon.
Is this where we actually get to see the alien face?
Yes.
And it's kind of a triangle, little weird looking.
Looks very similar to a like Queen Alien or something.
Yeah, similar features.
Which, again, this movie came out first, so.
I thought this was pretty comical, though, when Zalman King's walking and you could see the alien feet as it's underneath the bridge.
Yeah, that was weird.
Stalking him from underneath. That was fun.
It looks like it has Uggs on. You know, those boots that like grow, those like kind of furry boots. It did, or like moon boots or something. The alien has like human feet.
They talk about the mission was ordered by the master. That was very unclear of who the master is. I just assumed it was LVC.
Yeah, the master. There's only one. Robert Englund mentions the master too. And I was like, but by this time it's like, I don't even care if there is a more coherent story or anything. Let's just...
And that's what I thought was like the video game aspect to this, is because whoever makes it to the end or is the lone survivor becomes the master.
Wait a minute. Okay, now I'm thinking like the red-faced guy and the old lady with no teeth playing Zaxxon or whatever.
Yes.
Are they like chessboard style, like controlling this stuff? Because I don't know what that scene has to do with anything.
That's what I was reaching for.
Well, then let's just agree that is the story, because it makes more sense, and never talk about it again.
Don't bring it up. No follow-up on this.
That's actually making getting through the last third of this movie pretty easy for me. I finally feel like there's something to grab onto.
Other than just a few deaths. Zalman King's death is pretty cool. Aaron Moran, Joni gets trapped in the House of Mirrors.
What if her greatest nightmare was just Chachi? And he just appears from behind.
When they look at each other in this House of Mirrors, you know, when they're trapped beyond...
They're just basically making goofy faces at themselves.
They don't even try to talk. I can only assume we can't hear each other.
Right. Yeah, it's basically like a 1/4 inch of plexiglass. You can probably hear them. Yeah. He's giving her like, you know, hand gesture commands. And she has no idea what he's saying to her.
Because they were stepping through this little triangle lit door.
Yes.
When each character steps into it, kind of gets them separated into their own little nightmare.
Right. Yeah, I think that's correct.
It quickly disappears
Everybody goes
after
through
they
it.
step through it. Yeah.
Yep, I think you're right. So it's a good movie? Is that it?
What's Joni's fear, though? Her death is kind of cool.
And she's like really acting right now.
Is she?
I mean, more than she has up to this point. You said Erin Moran died young, too?
Yes, she died in her 50s. But when Robert Englund starts getting attacked by...
Robert Englund?
Other Robert Englund?
Yeah.
His stunt double really doesn't look anything like him, by the way.
Well, you are getting a preview of, like, the Freddy face and stuff, you know?
Yeah. This is reminiscent of Freddy as well, because at some point during their fight, Robert Englund, against each other.
Is there an echo in there?
He quits believing that the other him could do harm to him.
Yeah, I think what he's thinking is like, if I make friends with him, he could jerk me off. I think is what's happening. I don't know. I might be editorializing or...
His other self just kind of disappears after he quits believing that he could hurt him. And I just thought that was kind of a reminiscent of Freddy Krueger.
Kind of, yeah.
When Nancy quits believing in Freddy, he
Right.
loses all of his power.
Yeah.
Joni, though, being trapped in her own... You're right. She is just acting her ass off right here.
And it doesn't really show, like, what she's being... It's just, like, kind of wiggling wires.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it is kind of like sawing her in half.
Dude, it crushes her. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Her head fucking blows up.
Yes.
I don't think I remember like that. It just explodes. That is very similar to that scene in Prometheus. I hate referencing like slightly better movies, but same thing happens in Prometheus.
I'm watching that scene right now as she's being wrapped up. I don't know why this is her fear of...
I would be scared too. This is a totally legitimate fear.
But it kind of made me think of Prison as well, with it wrapping around her mouth. But
yep.
That face explosion is awesome.
It is cool. It's like her head's made of like crispy, like like Nutty Buddies. You know, they have that kind of like
the wafers.
Yeah, well, yeah, like a wafer. Movie's kind of bottomed out after she dies.
After Joni's gone, because now Eddie Albert's he's just sad. They don't set her on fire immediately.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The rules about setting things on fire are really, it's anybody's guess.
And this is where it just kind of got confusing, right?
This is where it got confusing.
What happened to Robert Englund? Because he was going up the side of the pyramid.
This is where like Ray Walston action hero comes in. He looks like Remo Williams or something.
Yeah, he's kind of got that action hero pose.
He does. Yeah, exactly.
He's at the top of the pyramid saying, "Come and get me."
Right.
This is what you've come here for.
That means that Mustache Guy his greatest fear is a Ray Walston fight. Right?
Sure. He should be afraid of that.
He's also walking through with his gun like he would in like Magnum PI or like...
I do want to watch this scene again because it was kind of strange, and I think I kind of fell asleep at this part.
Oh, man. If you're going to fall asleep in this movie, this is where it's going to happen. But are we led to believe that Ray Walston the entire time has been this...
quote-unquote master?
This being?
I don't know. He was the cook that never cooked anything.
That never cooked anything.
But he wore an apron.
That should have been their first clue. It's like he's got an apron on, but he's continuing to cook nothing for us. That's why Grace Zabriskie is just eating cat food. She's eating like Fancy Feast. They don't even have a cat.
The final showdown with Ray Walston is at 1:10.
Yeah.
Read the closed captioning and see if you can make sense. Do they divulge? Do they just unload the plot right here?
No. I mean, Ray Walston is again calling it a children's game.
Yes.
And that the pyramid is a toy.
Yes. And his head starts glowing red just like the very beginning.
Yeah. The other guy that we have no idea who he was.
So, but they're saying that Eddie Albert is the last survivor, right?
Yeah, he says you won the game.
Well, what happened to Robert Englund? He didn't die.
Maybe he's just too squirrely to win? Because he is very squirrely. But yeah, he basically is just setting it up as a final boss battle in a video game. Which, this guy hasn't won anything. He is constantly just thrown around. Oh, Rape Maggot shows up too in this scene. But yeah, so he shoots all the tentacles. And then I think you have to shoot the head a couple of times. Roll. Shoot it again. Jump. Flip jump. It's basically like Metroid.
That's what I was just going to say. Left, right, up, down.
Yeah.
A.
Yeah.
That's how you win?
No, that's how you get 99 lives. Well, I guess that would let you win.
Okay.
Unless you're a total loser. So he does giant up in the air backflips and front flips, which he's never done in the first hour and 15 minutes of the movie.
We didn't know he was so acrobatic?
No. In fact, those moves would have come in handy earlier.
Oh, yeah.
So,
man, he is
boobs.
Beating the shit out of this worm.
Yeah. Looks like he's punching one of those things in front of a used car dealership. Now it's getting really confusing where all the dead people are showing back up. It does look like the end of Event Horizon a little bit.
So would you say that that Eddie Albert is now, at the end, he is fighting all the creatures that were created by the other characters' fears?
Would I say that?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm so confused.
Because everybody that shows back up, the rest of the crew is dead and mangled.
Yes.
And just showing up to him in nightmarish vision.
Yes.
Very Hellraiser-ish.
Very blue, too. Oh! Aaron Moran's face was like filled up the entire screen. They say his name like 1,000 times towards the end of this movie. Cabron. Which, again, sounds like a car.
The new Chevy Cabron.
Mm-hmm. His face does kind of have a cab-forward design to it.
He's doing Gymkhana.
Yeah. Again, it would have been handy earlier if he had done any of that.
Mm-hmm.
He just shot Aaron Moran. She turned into Ray Walston.
I'm so confused.
It's completely off the rails at this point. These are just scenes of things. And Ray Walston is just spouting off some real cryptic bullshit. He says that your anger with me, I don't even know what that means.
But when Joni starts choking him,
mm-hmm.
the look on her face.
Oh, she's terrifying.
Oh, man. It's like she just came back from the coat table.
She's got Ray Liotta eyes. Not going to sing that either.
I was already singing it.
I know you wanted me to sing it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to give in.
Nope. I'm totally confused.
Every line of dialogue makes you question the line of dialogue before. It comes from nowhere and goes to nowhere.
They are not divulging any information.
Nope.
It's cryptic.
Yep. They put some little bit of makeup on Ray Walston to signify that he's dying.
But he turned into like Tron.
Yeah, he's kind of Tron-like.
So Eddie Albert just kind of, he shot something out of his chest or around his groin area. Now, if this was still the game from the beginning, the old woman is Eddie Albert.
Oh
I've solved it.
We did it. We did it. Oh my God. This is big. We're going to have to go public with this. We know that you guys have been wondering.
All the papers I'm going to have to write, the public appearances. I don't know if I can handle this. Maybe I should edit all that out. Just take it all away.
Probably be best if we just edited all that out. Keep it to ourselves. That was the dumbest ending for any movie I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it gave James Cameron a career. I guess we could be happy about that.
Yeah.
Although they're making like 4 more Avatar movies, so I don't know. maybe if he had been allowed to fail. I get it. It's Avatar. It's like Avatar.
How is this like Avatar?
I don't know.
You're just making shit up now. You have nothing to back it up.
I just wanted one shred of anything. You know what we got to do? We got to read the novelization of this to find out what the story actually was.
What's the name of the book?
Everything I wanted to know about Galaxy of Terror I learned in elementary school.
I was thinking the anal pyramids.
That's the erotic fan fiction that they wrote about this, which I'm going to get on pretty soon. Bigfoot's there.
I've got a lot of questions.
We've said I don't understand like 300 times. No, I mean, both of us have. That's not a good sign.
That's it. I think I just need to go watch Over the Top.
Yeah. Just decompress.
I'll feel so much better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that was Galaxy of Terror.
I mean, it was terrible.
The Galaxy of Terrible.
I think that Forbidden World might not be as... Man, I don't even want to say that. I want to think that like the plot for Forbidden World is way easier to understand.
Well, if it has a plot, I guess it would be easier to understand than this.
Right? But I mean, this movie had a plot. I mean, it had a pretty easy plot to follow until they started throwing in all the weird mystical shit. I feel like whoever wrote this was like overheard his kid playing like Dungeons and Dragons in the basement and was like, I've got a project that has no ending. I think I'll just use some of this crap. These dumb kids seem to like it.
Well,
I would say we did it. I mean, we technically did it. We got through the whole movie, but
got through it. So
many questions that are too dumb to answer.
I think I need to start previewing these movies before I pick them.
Yeah, that would help. That would help a lot.
We were so close. I could have gone to The Private Eyes. I would have been happy with that.
Yeah.
It would have been torture for you.
No. I like a Don Knotts.
Can I get an order of some of your garlic Don Knotts?
I don't know about that at all.
I love a good Tim Conway.
Yeah, and knowing that it's a Corman movie, I would like to see that.
I don't think I knew that it was a Corman film. Did not.
Well, I mean, there's probably a 40% chance that any movie is.
Good point.
I feel wiped out. I feel like I need to call my loved ones and then just go to sleep for a little while.
But this was our first Corman movie, was it? Maybe? I mean, I'm sure we've had to trip over him.
Yeah, I think he's probably been involved in... So, yeah, I mean, entertaining.
You hesitated to say that.
Do you think you could use that word to describe it? Entertaining.
In my TED Talk over this film, I will try to squeeze the word entertaining into my speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But more than likely, I'll just be saying KY jelly a lot.
Well, let's follow this up next week with our double feature of Corman with, what are we watching again?
Forbidden World.
Forbidden World. They're
very similar. They had a low budget. I just remember thinking that there is something about Forbidden World that's just a little bit, there's a little more of a spark in that one.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you if the plot is any more, I can't promise you anything about it. I will say that there are boobs.
Boobs.
There is a big slimy monster.
Okay.
Don't think there's maggot rape.
Is there one particular monster in this that's stalking?
Yeah. Very similar to another Alien movie that I won't mention. It's called Alien. I just mentioned it. But, hey, Fox Harris is in it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him in something. Well, let's read it off. In the distant future, a Federation Marshal arrives at a research lab on a remote planet. Let me start over. Or let me just quit. Shall I just quit?
No, how are we going to...
It's got to set it up somehow. Watch the movie, guys. It's an hour and 17 minutes long.
It's a world. It's forbidden.
I'm pretty sure we can turn it into a 3-hour podcast.
Oh, for sure.
In the distant future, a Federation Marshal arrives at a research lab on a remote planet where a genetic experiment has gotten loose and begins feeding on the dwindling scientific group.
That last sentence made it sound like Don Knotts is in this movie.
Well, I would love it if he was in this. So, like you said, it has Fox Harris. Who's Michael Bowen? We've talked about Michael Bowen before.
He is Buck who likes to fuck from Kill Bill.
That you are correct.
He's also in a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies.
He's in Jackie Brown.
Yeah, he's partners with Michael Keaton. I couldn't think of his last name.
And this also has Jesse Vent. Who the hell is that? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't recognize a lot of people except for Fox Harris. Dawn Dunlap. She's the heir to that tennis ball fortune.
Oh,
Isn't that Dunlap?
Huh.
I don't know. Looks like she's holding a tennis ball.
June Chadwick. She was in V. She was in This Is Spinal Tap.
Oh, okay. Maybe she was...
It's Janine Pettibone. So, next week, Forbidden World for a Corman double feature.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
It also might be on YouTube.
Well, do you want to add in our normal BS? Go right ahead.
To just follow us on social media and
sure
go to buy some t-shirts.
You can pick up our commemorative mega movie mania monster movie.
I think you already
t-shirt.
Said that one.
I created it and I don't know what it says.
Yeah. Well,
and I intentionally made it sound odd because we stumbled over it so many times, but now I can't even remember what it says.
Yeah, that's like that.
So it looks like you can watch Forbidden World on Tubi.
Oh, okay.
But like you said, it's on Amazon Prime, so you can definitely check it out. Ooh, there's a still of your girl in a nice little nightie looking at some slime-filled table that I can tell there's a foot. I can see a human foot, and the rest of the table is just slime and organs.
Yeah, well, that's kind of, I mean, these movies, they're going to have slime, they're going to have organs.
This actually has a good score.
Maybe it'll have a plot.
Maybe.
We'll have to find out next week.
Tune in next week for... All right, like you said, check us out on social media. Buy some t-shirts. Check out our merch. I think I'm going to put a zipper hoodie on there because I kind of want a zipper hoodie.
I thought you were going to say a zipper mask for a second.
That would be cool. Can we get a monogram zipper mask?
I think it would be cost prohibitive, but I'll look into it.
All right.
I'll email you some stuff.
All right, then. Let's shut this bitch down.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. You've been listening to The Moratorium, an MT Cornfield production. For more fun and stupidity, stay tuned. Next week, we continue our Corman double feature with Forbidden World. Check out our website for everything Moratorium, including movie links, movie reviews, merch, and more. Again, please like, share, and subscribe, then rinse and repeat. We appreciate your support. If you have any movie suggestions, or just want to tell us how much we really suck, you can contact us at moviemoratorium@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and long live VHS.
He's been in the mushrooms a little bit.